The Edmonton Oilers -215 traveling to Chicago to take on the Red Hot Hawks +185. The over under here 6.5. Chicago beat Florida the other night. Man, oh man, this Blackhawks team is just going to be a money pit. I can't believe it. I just really cannot believe it because there's sometimes like we talked about the Coyotes the other night against the Blue Jackets, and there was if you just broke that game down and you kind of envisioned it, you looked at just the situation, what Columbus doesn't do well, what Arizona, obviously they don't do much well, but like what they can at least like get out of a game. When you look at the Blackhawks and the Oilers, everything just lines up for this to be a pummeling. And I know that it's a back-to-back for Edmonton. Jack Campbell struggled, but look at that Chicago defense and tell me who is going to be able to just keep Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl off the puck. And I just can't see it. So I actually like laying the -1.5 puck line. I don't hate laying like -2.5. It should, if Edmonton wins, it should just be a blowout. It should be a rout. Alex Stalock has been red hot for the Blackhawks in goal. That's not going to stay up. Like we just know it's not going to stay up. So Edmonton for me -1.5.
Yeah, I completely agree. I like the Oilers a lot in this spot. I think it's a great spot to target them to just send Chicago back down to earth. And to comment on kind of what we've seen from Chicago, like the Seattle game, the Florida game, it really didn't seem to me like either of those were that impressive of team performances from the Hawks. It was just, those were the way that things worked out. There were sloppy errors from both the teams that were playing at the wrong times that I didn't think the Hawks really earned. Like, to me, I'm just not convinced that they're playing at the level they are. I think the 4-2 is definitely smoke and mirrors right now. And I'm not convinced they're going to be better than I thought, it seems like. But for me, I think this is a great spot to just target a high-powered Oilers team to put up probably 5-6 goals and just win handily. And the other thing I like too is like McDavid and Draisaitl, we've touched on this. They're so desperate to get back to the postseason, and their start really hasn't been that good. They can win tonight in St. Louis and still have a very middling record. So I just think it's one where they're not going to look past that game. They're going to come into it and I think they'll just dominate and take the 2 points that they really need from a Chicago team that's simply overrated at 4-2.
Yeah, I mean, if Chicago's play, I think you can say like even the Kraken game, it was just so wonky.
Yeah, exactly. Like Seattle just kind of beat themselves in the third. I thought.
Right, exactly.
I had, people saying it was a super bad beat. I wouldn't even go far. I wouldn't say it was a bad beat. Chicago or Seattle just kind of played bad, but
right.
It was what it was. Like the breakdowns happened. I didn't really think Chicago did that much to earn them. And then they just had those quick 2 goals in 30 seconds, which I just don't think any of what they're doing is that replicable.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm with you. I think I'm going to lay it with the Oilers in one way or another.